Hi, it's Jack from Veterinary IT Services, and today I'm talking to you about the top 5 ways that hackers could gain access to your practice. Having worked within the veterinary industry for over 15 years, we've seen a pattern in the way that hackers have breached practices and caused general havoc. Below, we've narrowed down the top 5 ways that a hacker can gain access to your practice. Phishing. Phishing is when hackers lure email recipients and web users into believing that a spoof website or link is legitimate. These days, phishing emails are becoming harder and harder to spot, especially within the context of a veterinary practice. For example, we've seen live examples of practice managers transferring funds based on an email they thought they received from a managing partner, but was in fact a malicious hacker. Something as simple as just opening a phishing email can open the door to a hacker, and you might not even know it's happened. Insecure remote setup. Now, if you use a PMS such as Robovet, Telios, RxWorks, then you probably have a server system running locally, and therefore are more likely to have a way to access it remotely. Now, whether this be due to multiple practices or you want to be able to work from home. Now, without getting too technical, if you can access your system remotely, even if it isn't something you normally do on a regular basis, and you don't put the necessary measures in place, then it's possible that a hacker can too. And once they're in your system, they can then wreak havoc. Now, during lockdown, we noticed a surge in veterinary practices being caught out by this, as everyone wanted to be able to access the practice data remotely. Now, if you need remote access to your system remotely, you really should make sure that it's set up by a professional to ensure your practice is kept safe and your data is secure. Software patches. This is a key area that a lot of veterinary practices fall short on, even after the instigation of GDPR, which requires all businesses to keep their software up to date. Let's use Microsoft as an example. Throughout the life cycle of its products, Microsoft has traditionally released software patches to close loopholes and backdoors to their system as they find them. But earlier this year, they brought a selection of their products, commonly used by vets, end of life, which means they're no longer being supported or updated. The older a software gets, the more well known these loopholes and backdoors become. If they aren't being closed, your risk of being breached increases exponentially. Unfortunately, not many veterinary practices are aware of this and are continuing to use these out-of-date products, inadvertently putting themselves at the mercy of hackers and getting in trouble with the ICO. Breach via IoT devices. Now, IoT stands for Internet of Things, which is essentially all smart devices. For example, smart tellies, Amazon Alexas, and Google Homes. You can even get smart fridge freezers these days. Now, the most likely IoT culprit you'll have in your veterinary practice is a smart telly, probably on the wall in your waiting room. It might surprise you to know that it would take a hacker just 2 minutes to access your practice systems via that telly. The issue with IoT devices is that they're generally not updated as often as our computers. However, they still have access to all our systems via the internet. The most common issue we find with veterinary practices is not only are they rarely ever updated, but the practice manager or owner have bought and installed the smart telly themselves without configuring it securely, mostly due to not knowing they had to. Thanks for watching. I hope you found this video useful, and don't forget to subscribe, but also check out our blog for up-to-date tips and tricks.